G'day, my name's Peter Madden. As you can tell from the accent, I'm an Australian with a lifetime interest in wine and food. Today, I would like you to come on a journey with me, a journey to one of the great countries in the world, Italy. And in particular, I would like you to come to Tuscany, home of the world famous, in fact probably really famous, Chianti and Chianti Classico. The grape is Sangiovese. There are 50 clones of Sangiovese, and by judicious use of DNA, they have been able to allocate certain areas with certain clones. And that means that the taste is the terroir, which is the soil, and the special clone.
For those who set out on the Tuscan wine trail, the starting point is the land of Chianti.
Chianti is
probably the most famous wine and perhaps the best known region in the world. The Chianti region is located halfway between the cities of Florence and Siena, in the centre of Tuscany, and that's where Chianti Classico wine is produced. The region became really important in 1716, when the Grand Duke Cosimo, the third of the Medici, issued a decree for the first time fixing the boundaries of a wine-producing region in Italy, and specifically defined the production area for Chianti. The second important step in the history of this wine was the establishment in 1924 of a consortium of 33 producers. Since the end of 2003, our consortium has been required by the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry to carry out a monitoring and quality control program throughout the Chianti Classico DOCG appellation. In all, I think there are 930 producers, most of whom are vine growers. Some have only small areas registered on the vineyard roll and make their product available to community sellers, whilst there are others who are able to make and bottle their own wines. The Classico zone is home to a number of excellent wineries and historic family estates, offering hospitality and the opportunity to sample their wines, often special vintages or bins not generally available on the market. Vigna Maggio is one of the most important firms in this region, and documents indicate that wine has been produced here since 1404. We found a document in the Datini archives in Prato, which has on record the fact that a parcel of wine was sold by the owner of Vigna Maggio in 1404. From the best grapes and the best vines of Vigna Maggio, we produce this Chianti Classico Riserva. It's the 2000 and has a label to honor Mona Lisa Gherardini, daughter of the original owners. In fact, it's called Castello di Mona Lisa. This wine has a lovely deep ruby red color, as you can see. Its perfume is very delicate and lovely and spicy.
Il profumo è molto fine, speziato.
You can taste the presence of a little wood, as this wine has been aged in large 225-litre barriques of French oak for about 18 months.
Molto intenso, fine e anche persistente. Al gusto si presenta caldo.
On first impression, this wine is quite intense in flavour, but it leaves a pleasing, slightly bitterish aftertaste, typical of all Sangiovese wine. In actual fact, this wine is produced with 90% Sangiovese grapes and a blend of 10% Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon to round it off.
Come dicevo prima, e poi anche un 10% fra Merlot e Cabernet Sauvignon come vitigni integratori.
We've talked about the wines and we've had a fairly in-depth discussion with some experts in the area. And I think it's about time we had something to eat. So I'd like you to come to lunch with me at My Roses.
Siamo
We are at San Casciano in the heart of the Chianti Classico district, and this is the kitchen of Mamma Rosa, where we will prepare SPEZZATINO TOSCANO al CHIANTI CLASSICO. The ingredients are onions, carrots and celery, garlic, sage, rosemary, salt, pepper, and either lamb or beef, extra virgin olive oil, and naturally Chianti Classico. We begin to make the base by chopping an onion into fairly small pieces. Then a carrot, then the celery, including some of the leaves. It's all mixed together and quite finely chopped. Then, with a little olive oil, it's placed into the pan and left on a medium heat for about half an hour to reduce. Some sage and finely chopped garlic are cut quite finely, and then they're added to the mixture. And it's all left on a medium heat for about half an hour to reduce.
Bene, ora basta.
The meat, which has been cut into bite-sized chunks, is added.
Bel sapore intenso.
And once the meat begins to cook, add a little salt and, most important, freshly ground black pepper. Now add some rosemary leaves, which have been finely chopped. After about half an hour, we pour in half a litre of Chianti Classico and turn the heat down a little and leave it all simmering away for about an hour. And here it is, spezzatino, served simply with broad beans
Serviamo il Chianti Classico.
and, of course, Chianti Classico.
Grazie.
The reason I'm smiling is that I have just had a glass of Santo. Santo is a sweet wine from the Tuscany area. It's consumed either after a meal with dessert, or it can be consumed in the early afternoon, cold, into which you can dip your wonderful little biscotti biscuits.
Now let's taste some Santo, which is a traditional product of Tuscany and in particular of Chianti Classico. It's a sweet wine which is aged for 4 years in small 100-litre casks called caratelli.
100 litri, che si chiamano caratelli. Il vino
This is a very elegant wine to offer your guests with cantuccini, the little almond biscuits, which sometimes are even dunked in the Santo.
biscotti detti cantuccini.
It has a lovely amber colour and a perfume which reminds one of honey, dried fruit, walnuts, almonds.
Well, we've had a great journey. I'm so pleased you came with me, but I want to whet your appetite. There's plenty more of these to come, and you can join me as we go around the world to all the different countries and taste the food and the wine from those countries. But I'd like you to promise me that before anything happens to you, go to Italy and enjoy it and love it the way I do. Salute.